Hi, welcome to Big Crone Energy. I'm Angela, and here's the big reveal. This is what I look like. It's a little unknown territory. I've never really shown my face on YouTube, but I decided that I was going to on this channel. I thought at first I was not, but you know, you can't hide in the shadows all the time, right? That's for me. Everybody makes their own choices, so. I thought that I saw a video done by Coyote Tarot, and it was a reintroduction. And I've never really seen an introduction video quite like this before to a channel, so I have decided that I was going to introduce myself to all the folks that may find me along this journey. So where am I from? Middle farmland kind of areas in the United States. So very much central of the country, middle of nowhere. And I kind of like it that way. So the next question is, how did I decide my YouTube name? So Big Crone Energy came to me from that song, Big Dick Energy. And I love that song, and I love everything it embodies. To me, it embodies just being yourself and coming into who you are and owning it and not being afraid and ashamed of who you are. So definitely in my crone years. I have three grown boys. The last one just graduated last year. And yeah, so I'm definitely crone. And I embrace that. I like it, and I'm pretty proud of myself that I've come this far. So yeah, so that's kind of how I came up with the name. I was kind of surprised it had never been taken before, but it works for me. It was meant to be, right? Let's see, how did I get started in tarot? And I'm adding on to this witchy stuff because this channel isn't just about tarot alone. So I always felt like I had some psychic abilities. I just knew things, or just know things, and I never really understood them. You know, I would go to like fun metaphysical like things, like fairs and stuff in my early 20s with my girlfriends. We'd had our aura read, and they used to take a picture, and you could see the little colors, and like they said they were spirit guides or whatever that would, orbs, that's what they were. So anyway, from time to time would go into Barnes and Nobles, which is a major bookstore, and buy a tarot deck and then not use it and lose it and stuff like that. And in fact, I found one that I'd bought in years before, when I was moving, because I recently moved, and so I have it. It's a mass market one, just a simple one at Barnes and Nobles, and so I've kept it for nostalgia's sake. But I never really read with it. I bought it and just like discarded it. I got into it hardcore right after COVID. I think I was looking for some spirituality, something different than what I was raised, and so, but it became a consumerism thing, and so it slowly burnt out. I did learn quite a bit. I did enjoy my time, but then I don't know what happened, but I just no longer read tarot or did anything witchy. I was just kind of lost for a year. I think it was a transition really between knowing that I was going to move and switch into these crone years that made me realize that, excuse me, you know, I just got lost and then I stopped doing it. And then I moved and everything kind of settled down. And I had kept my tarot stuff and most of, you know, like the altar cloths and the bags and stuff. Because you know, I spent a lot of money on them and I wasn't going to get rid of them because you just never know. I knew it was something that was calling to me, but it just, time and place, I guess, wasn't right. So about 3 months ago, I pulled everything back out, rearranged my bedroom, bought some furniture for an altar space and things like that, and I am like head fast into it. The other thing that made me realize it was I previously in my research of who I was and what I wanted to be, I thought you had to be a particular witch, you know, an earth witch, a hearth witch, a garden witch, you know, and I've realized that I'm not necessarily embracing any label, but I'm like I'm not even an eclectic witch, based on what I've researched. That means the closest thing I am would be a chaos witch, just mainly because what I mean by that is I go about and whatever feels right to me is spiritually right to me, and I'm okay with that. So that's a very probably long-winded explanation of that. Do I read for others? I do not. I mean, I do, and I have, but I don't really have a circle of friends here that is appreciative of it. So before when I first got into it, I did readings. They weren't rote readings. They were more based on what little knowledge I had and more of a visualization of what the card said. So actually, I would read with the El Goliath, which that was my beginner deck. That's a little hard as a beginner deck looking back now, if you want to know the rote meaning. So if you want to know really what RWS or whatever system you're following. But I just love that deck, and it was recommended to me, so I bought it and I used it, and I could get really good, or at least the person said it was really good readings, a couple people that I read for. So, yeah, I would read for others, and I have. Sometimes online, I'm in a community where somebody will ask for a reading, and I'll do it from time to time if the question feels like something I can draw from. So, how many decks do I have? I don't have a huge by any means, but I definitely have more than I should. And Coyote Tarot was like, there is a judgmentalness to it a lot in the community about hoarding or over consumerization of the things, and I am definitely part of that. I have over consumed, and so I have roughly 55 tarot decks and about 40 oracle, but I'm trying to draw myself out of that consumerism. So I do say that this time around with the tarot, I am more conscientious of what I'm consuming and what I'm bringing in, instead of watching popular YouTube people and being like, oh, I gotta have that deck because they have it. So yeah. Let's see, where do I store them? So I have them all over this room. I have about 3 altar spaces for different things, and then I had them in some drawers over here, but I moved them to the dresser drawer to be more sturdy, instead of a plastic drawer thing. And I have my tarot on top, my oracle, and then I have I probably can't see it, but over here I have a little decorative tote of ones that I don't plan on using anytime soon, but I'm not ready to get rid of or declutter or whatever. So I did go through when I restarted this tarot journey of going through and deciding which ones I wanted to keep and which ones didn't align with me. And so, and then a couple of them I sold on eBay because they had some value, and the other ones I gave away. Let's see. What do I look for in a deck? So I brushed on this a little bit. Before it was more of a, well, everybody else has it. That was part of this online community, parasocial kind of thing that I had with a YouTuber. And I just thought everything that they loved, I should love too. And so when I pulled everything back out, I realized that that's not the case. I can better answer this question with what I prefer not to have. So I'm not big into animal decks, plant decks. As far as tarot, oracle is a lot different. Oracle could be about anything. It just has to be, aesthetically pleasing to me, and or have a purpose. So maybe some specific theme to the oracle deck, something that you want to work through, and it could be used to work through. Let's see here, and then, but I really have a hard time connecting with plant-based decks. really decks with not a lot of people in it. I'm very much into the people. I've tried landscaping. So landscape decks, even those are kind of hard for me. They definitely, I'm more of a people emoting on the cards kind of person, which is funny to say because the El Goliath is very animal based. So, but, and I completely connect with that one. So, but I would say currently it would have to be a very special, unique to me. Oops, sorry, I hit the thing. Very special, unique to me deck for it to be a plant that's tarot or an animal one that's tarot. Otherwise, I like dark, gritty ones really for the most part. I'm not really huge into collage, though I do have the Super Linares is one that I love, and it's kind of on the collagey side. Definitely into the art stuff, so anything that somebody has created art-wise, and that could be digital art. So in that way, definitely into that kind of stuff. So, do you rehome decks? So I mentioned that already. I do. I typically, especially the mass market ones, I give to people that I know that I think would appreciate them, and then, which isn't a lot, so thankfully I don't have any really more to give away. And then, like I said, I've sold a couple on eBay that had some value to them. So what is my tarot practice? I just kind of throw cards. So if it's just a daily draw or something that I just have a question of, I don't do any kind of preparatory stuff. I don't necessarily even meditate or anything like that. I'm just starting with Al Moon 513, Racine, her intensive Persephone class, and that I have done some rituals around, and I will meditate and get into the space. And so if it's something that's more of a study, more of a longer detailed thing, I will get into it. But as far as like just regular draws, I don't. The other thing about my practice that might be a little different than others is I don't need to cleanse my decks, so I could pull something right out of the box and just start using it. I don't have any I have a ritual a little bit, whereas I kind of bond with it by looking at all the cards, and then the way that I get it ready to be shuffleable and not clumped together. It's kind of a bonding way for me to touch them and to put I do feel that I put my essence on them. It's just that I don't feel like I need to clear anything out. Let's see here, what other tarot stuff? So I don't pull every day. I pull more of an as-needed thing. I used to do before almost an everyday draw, but now I don't want it to become a have-to thing. So I don't want it to be, well, this is just what I do, or, and I don't want to muddy the waters by pulling too often and, forcing it. So as far as kind of a witchy practice, I'm kind of new in it. I'm very much learning, very much trying to see how I can incorporate all these things that I am believing in, and manifest them and make them happen. In my next monthly video, I'll show you some things that I have done, but it's all a learning process, so I'm not even remotely knowledgeable in this stuff. I'm just kind of thank God this is during the time of the internet, because it's so easy to access this stuff. So yeah, so that I'm just totally new at that, so just kind of winging it, see what resonates and what doesn't. Let's see here. So the next one that she had in her video, and I'll link that video below, is how do you cleanse? So there you go. I already kind of answered that one. So what kind of videos do I like to watch on YouTube? So I really like monthly wrap-up videos. I do like specific people that do deck related stuff. I do like tags. I do like anybody that is sharing something that they're passionate about. So, maybe I know there's one going around in the community that I've started to follow about labels and putting labels on. So I've been watching those videos, kind of educating myself on how people feel about that. I like to watch videos of people that are occultists that can teach me what I want to know and how to incorporate that. I do think, though, that the monthly recaps are my favorite videos as far as tarot. Otherwise, this realm of occultism or esotericism space on YouTube, I would say definitely true crime. Definitely some political stuff. What other stuff do I watch on YouTube? Paranormal, conspiracy theory, just a few specific people. I don't watch everyone, but just some specific people. Some history stuff, just a little bit of everything like that. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at there. And then how did I get into creating a YouTube channel? I like YouTube as a medium. I like it. I think it can be a community. Patreon is the other thing that I really like. I have several different. They're usually art related because I that time period in between the tarot and now was very much diving into and learning art, how to create art, and that journey has been very helpful and enlightening to me, because it's funny how it taught me that I can learn, that I can improve, and I have value. Does it have its disappointments in what I want to have happen with the art world and stuff? Yes, but it's just a matter of finding your space in there, like where you fit. I think everybody fits somewhere, and I hope to fit in this YouTube community, TarotTube, and I hope to just make a community. It's very isolating, and I don't, not interested in joining a coven or anything like that. I don't even know if there's any around in my area, but if there was, I don't think so. I'm very much like being a solitary, what would be labeled a solitary witch, but that doesn't mean that you have to be completely solitary. But it'll evolve, and I'm okay with that. I think people should evolve, and yeah. So if you made it to the end, please like, comment. If you have any other questions you want to know about me, I will try to be as much of an open book as possible. Let me know what kind of videos you like to watch. If there's anybody out there that sounds like I would be interested in, it doesn't have to be tarot or witchy related, just put a message down below, and I would like you to subscribe, just so we can build a community, and I will do my best to subscribe to you. Thank you, and you take care. Bye. Blessings.